Protests against Israel's war on Gaza are growing at universities across the U.S. These are the scenes at Columbia University, where students are camping out despite dozens of arrests on Monday. Students from Massachusetts to California are calling for universities to cut ties with U.S. companies that profit from the war. Kristen Saloomey is joining us from outside Columbia University. So despite the arrests, Kristen, more protests.
Absolutely. It's a bit quieter today than it was last night when the campus was very animated and loud, and there were rumors of the encampment being cleared yet again, and demonstrators showed up outside of the campus as well as on the campus to support the cause of a ceasefire in Gaza. Today, you can see behind me, there's still a massive police presence here. There's barricades set up all around the campus to try to keep things calm. And we are joined now by a professor, a faculty member here, a lecturer, Bassam Khawaja, who's with the law school. Thank you so much for coming and giving us the latest information. I know dozens of faculty came out on Monday to support and protest the arrests of the students. Do you think they represent the majority of faculty here?
It's hard to say if they represent the majority, but a number of faculty are really furious that the university president made the decision to call New York City's police department onto campus, a police department with a history of brutality. This was made opposed to the Senate, the University Senate, that objected to this happening. We are really furious. 100 of us came and stood on the steps a few days ago to protest this decision. 54 members of the law school's permanent faculty wrote directly to the president objecting to it, and so there's quite a bit of anger among the faculty, even among people who don't support the protesters, of the fact that the New York City Police Department was brought in against what is essentially a peaceful protest, students camping out on a lawn. Yeah,
you mentioned the Columbia Senate. Who is involved in the Columbia Senate? And there were some rumors of a censure resolution against the President Shafiq because of the way the police were called in. Is that correct? What's the latest there?
Yeah, so the University Senate is made up of faculty, students, administrators. The president is required to consult the Senate prior to bringing in the police. She did that, the Senate rejected it, and she went ahead anyways. By all accounts now, she is up for a censure by the Senate, and I think that reflects the extent of the anger on the campus against this decision.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, due to visit the campus this afternoon. He's going to meet with Jewish students and speak to the media about what he calls the rising anti-Semitism on college campuses. Would you agree that there is rising anti-Semitism?
I think anti-Semitism has no place on our campus. We need to be really clear about that. At the same time, we need to be clear that advocating for Palestinian human rights is not in itself anti-Semitic. And I would encourage Speaker Johnson to go to the campus to meet with protesters there, many of whom are Jewish. I saw them holding a Passover Seder there a few days ago. And I think if he's going to be speaking with Jewish students on campus, he should make sure to speak with all of them, that people representing all views on campus.
And the governor, Kathy Hochul, has been here as well. There's been concerns raised about the National Guard being called in. Is that something that you're hearing? What are students talking about feeling, and do you feel the commitment that they're going to stay despite this 48-hour deadline?
The students, many of them are committed to staying in the encampment. There's been a lot of rumors swirling about the New York Police Department, the National Guard coming back in. Looking around, it seems very difficult to justify that. Again, these are students peacefully camping out on the lawn. When I've been there, most of the time they're studying, and so the idea of calling in troops to a campus where, again, this is a peaceful protest just seems way above the mark in terms of what's justified here. The school has been very vague when they've raised security concerns about what it is they're talking about, and it should be a very high bar to bring in police on your own students.
Bassam, thank you so much for joining us and giving us the latest here. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon. You heard it there from a lecturer here at Columbia University. This is where it all started, this latest wave of college demonstrations that we're seeing expand across the country, with the University of Texas holding a sit-in. The Brown University now also has an encampment on their campus, and about a dozen others at least across the country now, with pro-Palestinian rallies taking place.
Kristen Saloomey talking to us from New York. Kristen, thank you very much indeed.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.